Dami did not leave immediately and seemed to stare down. Oh, hi folks. Fam for a moment. As though stared down Fam for a moment. It seemed to Ash Maker, that should be capitalized. Maker like something very bad was, like things were about to go very south for Fam, but it didn't, at least not for the moment, that moment. Later, remember how you spoke to me. Later, when you are being punished, end comes. Remember how you spoke to me. Dami said to Fam. I shall. Fam reassured with a smile. Dami then left. She flew up through the night sky with the speed of a rocket, and some great portal opened up above her. She flew through the portal and was gone. Portal. Yeah, I wish I knew what these weird feelings meant. Like I feel a pain in my leg, then I sneeze twice. Like that. What the hell does that mean? Was gone, with the portal closing behind her. Seconds later. There was no neat zapping sound or explosion. Or howling or wind-like howl. In a way, Shoemaker found it more unnerving how quiet Dami's escape was. It probably meant her return would be as unheralded. Until she started slinging fireballs and flipping vehicles through the air. See. Captured armor. No tanks. I don't think there's any tanks. They're called Lee Dreads in this universe. I haven't corrected that in the story, obviously. Gotta check for other tank terms, like tanked, fish tank, fuel tank. Is tank slang for drunk? I don't know. I'll have to check that out. I don't follow regular slang because my stories go by their own rules. Their own slang, lingo, that kind of stuff. So if they use the term junk, they're referring to junk, as in stuff you throw in a dumpster, not genitalia. Anyway, I think that's fallen out of use, because I think people like to use the word junk in the old way again, which is quite a thing. I mean, usually once you get a slang term, it usually doesn't die down ever. Let's see. Ashmaker felt like the eyes of Dominique were still on him. He hoped that wasn't the case, where he promptly fell to his knees, the swamp fever overcoming him. He saw flashes in his mind. That terrible mission. Retreat through the jungle. The blazing firefight. The base. Dominique's disappearance. The bloody retreat. The bloody and hasty retreat. That cost the lives 3 superhumans. Then the escape through the jungle. Heated jungle that claimed rest besides Ashmaker. Ashmaker thought of that girl. Thought of the girl. I like to develop characters that are dead. Like this girl that I mentioned now. I'll probably have character stuff for her if I do the flashback sequence. There was a character in my other story who was killed by vampires, and she was mentioned as one of Dominique's friends, but I didn't have any character stuff with her. Not really. I'd like to change that, though maybe it's a little too late to do that since it's been 2 parts since I last mentioned her. Like 3,000, 4,000 pages or so, yeah. Might be a little late for that train. But maybe I could put her somewhere else. Maybe I can do the development, even when she's dead. And long forgotten. I mean, Lord of the Rings, Boromir got a lot of development even after he was dead. In the book. Oh, and in the movie, I guess. Because, there's a lot of stuff about him after his death. Let's see. Ashmaker thought of the girl. I wonder how much of that was planned or just happened with that book. Seems like a novel that was meticulously planned, to be honest. Though I would be quite amazed if a lot of it was done on the fly. Not the historical stuff, like the background, world-building stuff. That was definitely planned. You don't create a world that intricate on the fly. I don't believe you can. I just don't believe it. Ashmaker thought of the girl. The last one, besides himself, and the Jade. I'll hold them off. From here, you keep moving. He said to him. You'll get killed. Ashmaker replied. Already dead. Girls countered. But you still fit enough to get out of here. Get to report what happened. To report the betrayal. Yeah, like they'll do anything to her there. Golden child. Ashmaker replied. They forgave her, turning her on them in the last war. But when they forgive, they'd forgive this. They forgave her for turning on them in the last war. They'll forgive her of this easily. They forgave her for turning on them in the last war. They'll forgive her of this easily. Ashmaker was snapped back. From the painful past to the pain present. Fever. Wanda Moon asked with rather motherly concern here twice. Ashmaker looked up at her from the ground. Features slightly twisted in pain, and already drenched in sweat. Yep. Yeah. Like the reply admitted. I feel a bit... I suppose I'm a bit overdue for it. I don't know if I'll remember every word I've written today, but I probably remember what was going on in my life as I was writing it. You know, we remember personal stuff. Like today, I'll remember that I had an energy drink, a fancy energy drink while I was writing this. Fancy meaning the Starbucks kind. Yep, when my ship comes in, I'm gonna fill a whole warehouse full of those energy drinks, so I'll never have to drink that cheapo Monster stuff again. Just the Starbucks stuff all the way. Maybe Red Bull too. Been overdue for it. Like how the Earth is overdue for another whack from some giant comet meteor to end this world. To reset the world. Maker was referring to the meteor that ended the reign of the dinosaurs, at least in their part of the world. Well, for all anyone knew, dinosaurs lived and ruled over the unknown 99% of the world. Beyond the endless seas. I call them the endless seas. It's not the right term. Can you let's see. Can you shake the fever off? Sam asked. Is there some drug or... Matchmaker laughed cynically. Cynically. I can't shake off fever no more than a corpse can shake off death's embrace. Matchmaker mumbled. Cold embrace. I wouldn't mind such a thing. You should watch some old Bogey movies, folks. They're very good. He always gives 110% if you watch. People think he's always a cool customer in his movies, but he flips his shit plenty of times, you know? It's pretty fun to watch. Yep, he was a very talented man. Every gift but length of years, I suppose. I lived to be almost 60. I guess, I think I'd be lucky if I lived that long. My diet is not the healthiest in the world. Plus, everybody in my family's sick, so, yeah. I wonder how funny it'll be to write, and I'm all sick and hunched over like some goblin. Oh, cold old embrace. I wouldn't mind such a thing. Matchmaker didn't complete his collapse. Collapsed into a complete mental and physical stupor. Only off, mumbling incoherent things. Deep breath, like some sleepwalker. Bam yelled for some medics to come and tend to him. Matchmaker was put on a stretcher and carried off to the outside medical supply building, which had become the terrorist hospital. Terrorist hospital. Now that sounds like a good show. A bunch of doctors kidnapped in like Africa or the Middle East. Doctors Without Borders, like forced to work for terrorists and such. I don't want to spoil anything, but that wasn't a TV something like that was in a TV show I watched, but very briefly. And it'd probably have a very different resolution of what I would have done. I mean, too many happy endings, you know? Like shows about terrorism, they're always stopping some 9/11 kind of thing, but they never have the balls to have it like a 9/11 kind of thing happen, even though it's fiction, total fiction, and you know, you're not actually hurting any real people. It's like they think if they have a successful plot by terrorists, it would inspire them to go nuts and actually pull it off, or that it would somehow actually happen, like life imitating art. I don't know. I'm sure terrorists have no limit to their ideas on how to attack and hurt innocent people, so they probably don't need to look to TV for advice. Which would become the terrorist hospital. Graham shook his head. Spoke to Blonde Moon in the jade tongue. Oh boy. Still got sniffles. Wow. Seems like one setback after the other. I muttered. I guess we'll have to delay the attack. While the moon replied. And recalled the plan, which featured Ashmaster in it, but not to a great extent, due to fear that he'd lose his powers when he set foot in the base. And now it seemed like Ashmaker was going to be out of the fight. Would be out of the fight forever. For the rest of the incident, or Swamp Fever. Let's see, Swamp Fever. I think of that old book I read called The K? Yeah. About two guys, a boy and an older man, shipwrecked together on an island. And the old man had malaria. And he, messed him up good. And the little boy got blind, and well, you know, it got from bad to worse as it went on. But, you know, it's a kid's book, so I guess a happy or happy-ish ending is to be expected. Sometimes I think that the only difference between an adult and a kid book should be, you know, a happier ending. There's nothing wrong with happy endings. You're not obligated to write a sad ending for any story. Though maybe if your story involves a zombie apocalypse, or the sun going out, or some plague killing the whole population of Earth pretty much, then yeah, I'm probably not going to have a very upbeat ending under the best of circumstances. Let's see. Yeah, the fight for the rest of the incident. For Swamp Fever was not something that people snapped out of in an afternoon after a breast in a bowl of chicken soup. I keep writing bowel instead of bowl by accident, and you know, like bowl of soup, bowl of rice. Sounds like a disease you'd get if you ate too much rice and it plumped up in your stomach and caused some kind of, like, I don't know, explosion in your small intestine. I don't know if that would kill you or not. I heard that getting shot in the belly would kill a person pretty much guaranteed. I think it's a death sentence, but I don't know. After breast and bowl of chicken soup, usually someone experienced, usually the fever went on. The fever, incoherence, and vomiting lasted for a whole week or more. It was a chronic condition that did not was a chronic condition that did not go away. That stayed with the victim, affected the rest of their days. Sometimes, someone infected could go years without any symptoms, any incidents, flare-ups. Matchmaker usually had 1 or 2 per year, with his last incident being 14 months earlier. I suppose our friend we have to accept that this operation always had its problems. Fam said to Wanda Moon. Even with, it would have been tough to pull off. Even if everything went our way, the enemy put up far better fight than we expected. Wanda saw that Fam was staring at some dried blood pool off in the distance, almost like he was hypnotized. Kind of like the Battle of the Bulge. That was the Nazis' last gamble. That was a pretty ridiculous one at that. Apparently nobody had faith that the operation could succeed, but they still went along with it because, well, you know, that's how they did it. Hitler was the commander-in-chief, and what he decided went. So he lost the last of his armor in Western Europe, and then, you know, the Western Allies had a pretty easy time pushing in after that. Although, you know, Germans still fought very fiercely. Anyway, this isn't about the Battle of the Bulge. I could talk about that, but this is titled How to Write a Novel, so almost like he was hypnotized. If not for our superhuman friends, we'd probably all be captured in some stockade about now. Fam said. Or all in some morgue. Don't get too hasty, sir. We'll probably end up there anyway. Eventually. Here's the reply. Yeah. Graham agreed. You know, as though sounding resigned. Such a fate. What is that history mem? The Krieg is verloren? Let's see. Meanwhile, inside the facility, 7:05 p.m. Cutter 309 7:05. Let's see. Can shake a corpse. Sergeant Turza. Dr. Tolson. What's his first name? Cutter Tolson. Yeah, that's a German name. Kind of, I guess. Okay, folks, have a nice day. See you later.